masking the fact that, like, and let's just be blunt about this. Donald Trump could not pass any class that I have ever taught at any university.
I don't know that I could. I don't know that I could.
You definitely could, because you're at least capable of thinking and speaking in full sentences, right? Donald Trump as his family name.
Excuse me, my name is Trump. You can say it right. I'm totally Americanized. You're not calling me Trump no more.
Yeah, Donnie Trump. Donnie Trump is the perfect example, right, of what white privilege does and what it costs America. Man, born on third base, thought he hit a triple. Okay,
that's a great analogy.
But let me ask you this: how is Kamala so different?
No,
I mean, they're playing the race card.
She isn't.
They're playing that, but
it's even worse. Let me finish with Trump first, because I realize this now. Yes, we're all familiar with the expression "born on third base, thought he hit a triple." Trump is even worse. Born on third base, thought he hit a triple, tells you he hit a home run, walks home, and you let him do it. So he's not. He's going to gaslight you to tell you that no, that ball cleared the fence by 10 feet, and for some reason, these people, smile and nod. Now, with respect to Kamala, let's be blunt about this. Kamala, for her entire career, has been to the right of Ronald Reagan. Her whole career. Her Republican bona fides are stronger than Trump's, who was a Democrat for significant portions of his life. And let me just be blunt about this. The white supremacist credentials of Donald Trump are in no way superior to those of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the black face of white supremacy. She's what Frantz Fanon described in his, seminal work, Black Skins, White Masks. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. People were tripping about these coconut memes that Kamala was dropping when she first got on the ticket, and they decided that they were gonna black girl magic a genocide, right? Those of us that are like internationally read in on racial questions know that for the South Asian community, a coconut is the equivalent of an Oreo in the black community. It means you're brown on the outside, white on the inside. And that is a perfect description of Killer Kamala. That is, I won't say if you crack her coconut, or if you crack that coconut, it's all white thoughts on the inside. It's all white supremacy. She is somebody that's mostly known as an agent of the carceral state. And I'll just say this, is that watching especially black women abolitionists like Angela Davis sully their legacies for eternity by endorsing this blackface minstrel show, this Drake of the political arena, right? She is cosplay blackness manifest.
Did you just say Angela Davis?
Angela Davis endorsed.
That's worse than Bruce Springsteen. I'm just disgusted.
Look,
I can't even. With
Professor, do you, as somebody who probably understands the black community as well as anybody, is this really just a question of societal position? Is it just a question of money? I think a lot of people look around and, we have the obvious suspects, but there's a lot of people,
Hillary Clinton.
I'm not talking about her.
Okay.
I'm just saying in general, there is something to be said for the acceptance of just playing along with the Democratic Party establishment. But I'm also seeing a lot of pushback that we've never really seen before. And I also see the support for Trump, particularly from black men, as more of a fuck you to the Democratic Party than it is a support for Trump. They're supporting him because everyone in their eyes is basically a hater of Trump. So be like, okay, you want to be a player hater? Then I'm just going to go right with the game. That's how it's going to be. Yeah. But I do think we're living in a different time now. And I do think there is an evolutionary period that's taking place, even though even some people in the chat are like, well, you're not being realistic. It's like, well, you know what? There's a lot of unrealistic expectations before it becomes realistic. And
it's such a brainwashed defeatist. It just shows that they've been sucking on the teat of mainstream media and can't get the propaganda off of loop inside their cerebellum. The reality is only reason why people say that is because they've been told to say that. My favorite MC, Wise Intelligent from Poor Righteous Teachers, he visited my hip hop history class one time, and he said, narrative scripts human behavior the way that code scripts computers. And that's the reason why they're fighting over this narrative. This media narrative keeps people plugged in and suckling at this teat that keeps feeding them poison. Because the reality is that 70% of the American population is opposed to genocide. 70% of independents in the most recent polling have said that this country needs a viable third-party alternative because the two parties, neither of them is doing their job. And you might expect that from independents, but did you expect that 50% of both Republicans and Democrats say that we need a third party because neither Team Blue nor Team Red is doing their job? So this defeatist idea that you can't win, what did Malcolm say? Malcolm said, never let your enemy tell you how many of you there are. If you believe that these people are telling you the truth about your electoral prospects, then you are just, brainwashed. You're the one in a delusional state.
Yeah, well, if we're also, I'm sure you saw the clip of the reporter questioning Miller, and basically going into a diatribe about everybody's sick of this shit. You keep lying about what's going on. You're complicit in this genocide. And I've been saying for months, I don't know why any journalist goes to those press conferences, because you're just being lied to.
You're just being lied to directly to your face.
What is the point? You're sitting there like, and I know Ryan Grimm, he's a nice guy. He knows he's being lied to. He's not an idiot. Of course he knows that. So the facade that they just sort of keep this going like they're actually being given information is a big part of the problem. I mean, I don't know why we give that any credence whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it's a commentary on the sorry state of the media. The way Dr. Jill likes to put it, and I like this, phrasing, is that they're supposed to be the watchdog, but instead they're the lapdog.
Oh yeah.
Right. And actually that's a point that I wanted to flesh out earlier. I used to say for a long time, I mean, people that know me know I've had a lot to say about politics, even though I never had, aspirations about elected office. I've been saying since the early 90s that American democracy in its current form was doomed the day that Rush Limbaugh went on the air. And the reason is that what it showed to the media companies who had previously done news is that there was essentially an unlimited market for telling people what they want to hear and carrying water for particular political constituencies. And so even the veneer of objective coverage, or at least, disinterested coverage, vanished. And so then Fox News comes in the aftermath of Rush Limbaugh. Then MSNBC, has to create a model, and essentially they just become the state media. When it's Democrats in power, the Republicans are the state. The state Republicans have Fox as the state media. When they're in power, CNN runs cover and carries water for the 1% as a whole. Right. And so what we now have is this environment wherein there is actually no air. And that's what they're afraid of with the repression of speech on campuses. That's what the TikTok ban is about, is that these corporations that now are in every single congressional lawmaker, every single elected official in the Democratic and Republican parties are all in the pockets of these corporations. That's why they're trying to silence our campaign. That's why they're trying to keep us off of those stages, because they know the American people are actually not fools. The American people have been fooled, so that they keep running these little sorry narratives about, oh, you're a Russian asset. You know what they call Russian assets, the Democratic Party, is that if people advocate for reparations, that is considered a Russian media talking point, and you get labeled. Yes, you get labeled as a Russian.
Really?
No
What's
joke.
the connection? Well, then because I've been talking about that for 5 years now. So am I a Russian asset?
Which is exactly the point, is that because the Kremlin used to use reparations arguments against the United States, that if you are vocal about reparations, that can literally get you, classed as repeating Russian talking points. So this is the kind of sheer madness that we're talking about. They do everything they can to try to marginalize and dismiss us. Let us get a fair hearing from the American public, and we'll unplug all these sorry people from that media tap that they've been suckling on.